Prime View TV. New media with a difference.
The Golden Pot of Hope, a charitable TV show under the Prime View television initiatives. We listen to the voice of the undersupported Nigerians, support, empower, and counsel the less privileged. From time to time, I should be having co-hosts, but today, it's just my very self, Mystic Marlene. You're welcome to Mystic Marlene and the Golden Pot. Today, I have a very interesting guest. My guest today is a filmmaker, a director, a producer, an actor, a devoted father and husband, but most especially, the president of the Producers Guild. You're welcome, sir, to the Golden Pot.
Nice to be here, Marlene.
He's none other than Dr. Benson. I am so privileged to have you here today, sir.
The pleasure is all mine.
You're welcome. Well, I think I did justice with that introduction.
You did.
Can you help us and tell my viewers a little bit more about yourself, sir?
Wow. Thank you for that introduction. I'm really, happy to be here. Like my honorable guest, presenter, host had just said, my name is Malcolm Benson. I'm a Nollywood film producer, director. I'm also in the legal profession. That's what I do for a living.
Yes.
Yes.
I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. I'm the current president of the UK Nollywood Producers Guild. And, we just build a community in London especially, but UK as a wider community. We are here to make sure we empower the upcoming talents who are looking into coming into Nollywood, be it acting, producing, directing, writing, cinematography, all things Nollywood. We are here to empower and to sort of pave the way, as well as provide a platform where they can, be nurtured and they can network with others. We have a film festival coming up soon in October the 4th and the 5th this year. It's the second edition UK Nollywood Film Festival. We are very excited about it. I'm happy to be, given the opportunity to lead the Producers Guild, who is presenting this film festival to Nollywood, both UK and in Nigeria and other African countries.
Okay, I was going to, before you actually rounded up most of the questions I was going to ask, and one of them was, do you have a lot of people in this guild? How many members are in this guild?
We have the active members.
Yes.
There are non-active, but the active members is just over 30.
Okay.
We have had members who are more like associate members, who for one thing or the other may have moved location, some probably gone outside the base, but they still resonate with us. They still look into what we are doing, and they are still within the platform. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And Nigeria, there's always this talk, Nigeria, Nollywood, and UK Nollywood. This particular time that you're having this film festival, are you collaborating with the Nigerian Nollywood or just UK thing? Do you have people from Nigeria coming too?
To be honest, the way I see it is Nollywood is Nollywood. There isn't really two Nollywood. It's one Nollywood. It just happened to be that Nollywood originated in Nigeria, and then but we are here in the diaspora and we want to continue to champion that dream, that vision of Nollywood. So we being the ones that are based in the UK, say we are UK Nollywood producers because we are based in the UK, but Nollywood is one, all right? We tell our story from our viewpoint. No one will tell the story for us, so we have to tell it. So we have producers who are based in Nigeria. They come to UK and they make films, and we work with them to produce films. They are still Nollywood. They don't go out saying we are Nigeria Nollywood.
Okay.
Yeah, likewise.
Why
Yeah.
I mention that is because there's been, I'm sure you can witness to that. I've been to so many movies premieres.
Yeah.
I have seen how they work and what they produce and all that. Producers Guild. First of all, I want to ask, do you actually preview their films sometimes before it's aired out? Because I must say, this is frankly speaking, most of the films that have been produced here are totally different from the ones from Nigeria. And I wouldn't say they're substandard or understandard, but they're not the same as the ones produced in Nigeria. As the president, first of all, what benefits does these producers get from you, and how do you empower them, or how do you advise them or assist them when they're creating these movies?
Okay, well, basically, when it comes to the creative element of filmmaking, it depends on the filmmaker themselves, by their own right. It's like if you open a shop and the way you want to serve your customers. I cannot lecture you on how you can do that. It's your brand. At the end of the day, you can be a member of a union. The union will set some certain standards and say this is how you can better what you do. But it's a free agent, more like you can either be a member of the guild or you don't have to be a member. There are producers out there who don't want to be members. It's not mandatory that you have to be a member, but to
And
come
it's not
as
because you charge a lot for them.
Exactly. So what we are doing is like it's a community. No one exists in isolation. Sometimes when we come together, there is power in number, and when we come together, we can feed off each other. And maybe you're better than me in one way or the other, and then I learn from you. But because we are within that club, we can have some mutual respect, mutual benefit. We can encourage one another because nobody knows it all. All right. So the whole purpose of having a guild is to, first of all, build a community of filmmakers where we can share resources and encourage one another. Then we can look at how we can then upgrade what we do. And you can only upgrade when you're willing to learn, not when you feel that you know everything, that you're perfect. No, it's a matter of learning from your mistakes, and then, or even learning from other people's mistakes, so you don't go making that same mistake again. All right. In terms of what you said about Nigeria films made in Nigerian films.
Yes.
Of course, what you got to understand is Nigeria has been making films for a very long time. It's been a bigger market. It does not mean that every single producer that made a film in Nigeria would be better than a producer that made a film here. Yes. But in numbers, if you have like 10,000 compared to 50, of course, you're going to have a whole lot more better films, because out of that 10,000, you probably have 5,000 that are so good. Then the other 5,000 will be even worse than the ones you're seeing here. But because you didn't get to see them, you won't compare it. So it's not comparing apple for apple. It was just a number of bunch of filmmakers who are here. That's why what you see can never be like life for life for what you see in Nigeria. But trust me, there are films you see in Nigeria, made in Nigeria, that are so poor that you wouldn't even want to look at them.
And then you advise the ones here, but some of them just don't take to the advice that you give.
Because they are their own boss. When someone is their own boss, they say, well, I'll do it. If you like it, I don't care. If you don't like it. But then again, we don't throw them in the bin. What we do is we encourage. You say, okay, because as a learner, if you're a new learner, say you're driving and you start first to drive your car, you can never be that good, but it doesn't mean you should stop driving at all. Okay. So you get on the driving seat and you start making your way in the process, and you learn and you drive, you make your mistakes, and someday you become, you know, a very good driver. So that's the same way. The producers, they can only learn by producing. If they've not produced anything at all, then everything is just, you know, fairy tales.
Yeah. And the last year's, I was there, fully there in the last year's film festival. Yeah. So are we expecting the same kind of package? But because this time around, I don't see the hotel package, the Hilton package in it.
Well,
what changed? Or you didn't make money the last time?
No, it's not really about making money. Money is not everything. It's really having that momentum. Yes. Having that something that you've done, and then you repeat, you do it again. Not exactly the same way. Obviously, last year was the Virgin.
Like the opening ceremony that is showing now. Last year's opening ceremony was in Hilton Hotel. That was the beginning, and then we had to launch it because that's the very first. Yes. So we ordinarily, the way it would run would be, you do the screenings in the festivals, you finish, and then you close with a big gala closing ceremony. That's usually the style. But because it's the very first one, it's the Virgin one, we had to launch it with an opening ceremony in that caliber. Then we see basically how things develop. Of course, in all these things, you require funding to keep it going. Some initiatives. I was going to get to that. How are you funded to get it? Because I also know you have a magazine that came out that period too. Is that part of how do you get your funds and the supports from it?
Okay, so basically year 1, year 2, possibly year 3 is going to be very tough. There are going to be struggles to keep to convince the audience that you are here to stay. We are not a one-trick pony. So the fact that we've done year 1, regardless of how much we were able to make, is irrelevant. We want to keep on doing the festival every single year. So the fact that we are now doing it again this year, we already are sort of winners, because if you've done something the first year, the next year you don't do it, that's really the end of that baby.
That's true.
All right?
That's true.
So for us to come back and we are doing it year 2, by the time we've done year 3, you will find that we will start gaining more momentum. We will have more sponsors, funders, partners that we want to partner with us in what we do. All right? So this year, slightly different from year 1 because we've learned few lessons from year 1, and whatever you do is a stepping stone to the next bigger event. All right, so this year we've got already tractions within even Nigeria. We've got a few partners there, and we are going to be running concurrently press releases.
I was going to get into that too. When exactly is it coming up?
It's the 4th of October and the 5th of October.
Because I was going to ask, are the tickets ready?
Yes.
And which artists are performing? Are you bringing artists to come in this time around?
Well, bear in mind, it's a film festival.
Yes.
So our primary concern is not performance, because it's about showing films.
Yes.
We've been able to lock down 2 cinemas and more to come. We have cinemas in Nigeria who are also ready to show some films so it's going to become an international film festival. So we first day is at Odeon Cinema. That's the opening ceremony. And then the second day is at Canada Water Theatre. That's where we are showing some of the other selected films. And then we'll do the awards for Patron Awards and the Winners Awards for the festival. We really want
in the same venue?
In the same venue. Yeah. We have not ruled out having a gala night, but that is not the first thing we want to focus on right now, because we want to make sure that at least we can afford to, especially the fact that we are trying to do some press conference in Nigeria. We need to fund the publicity for that, so we are, our publicity is going over here and in Nigeria as well, because we believe that Nollywood in Nigeria, where most producers and actors are based, they need to see what we are doing, because we can't just be here talking to ourselves. We need to be taking it home as well, so that they know that we are here.
And that takes me back to the Golden Pot, taking it home and knowing you're here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you understand the idea, the concept of the Golden Pot.
Yes.
The Golden Pot is, this pot signifies so many things. Not just the petty traders we want to help, not just the children that can't go to school we want to help. Now, there are writers, producers, directors that are coming up. Even, let's say, a young boy from your village might want to get into the industry that you are and cannot afford, because this industry is not a cheap industry.
Of course.
You have to have some finances, you have to have all that. We want to also give them an opportunity to, like now, you can give us, throw in some names from the village or from schools or from wherever in Nigeria, throw it in here to give them opportunity to know that we can help them. And then, since you're now sitting in the hot seat with me, being my second guest in this show, I'm throwing it to the audience now. If we get these names and put them here, I'm sure Dr. Malcolm Benson will help us with some small finance that we will come up with, assist these people, train them, not just train them, talk them through how they can get into the industry. Mentoring them, something like that. Mentoring them how they can get into the industry. And then, because you will help us pick, at the end of the show, you help us pick a name that we can do. So now, do you have people too that you're thinking about? Like now, if we have youth in Nigeria that want to get into this, we'll need you to tell them step by step how, if you can explain to my audience, my viewers, how to get into it. Not the big time per se, but from the grassroots. Okay, so basically, if you're looking at, depending on where you're coming in, it depends on the angle you're coming in. If it's through acting, which majority likes to go into acting, or producing or directing. But let's just say quickly acting. If you feel that you've got that talent in acting, well, we are lucky now that we've got smartphones here and there. You could actually just film yourself, selfie, and perform for yourself. Put that selfie, set it up, and do like some act auditioning for yourself. Be your own boss, and then demonstrate something or act out something, and then watch it and do a self-critique. Do you think what you've just done would impress somebody else? If you feel that that is good enough for another pair of eyes to see, then invite somebody, not just somebody that would say yes, yes, yes to anything you do. Get a critical friend that will be a good friend but a bit critical, that can tell you the honest truth, and get them to watch that thing you've performed. If they look at it and give you some kind of
tips on what you need to do. Then redo another one and watch it again and see if you've improved. If you think you've improved, then maybe look out for somebody who is in the industry, who's probably done films before, a producer, director. You're coming in saying, listen, I've got this little self-made reel that I've just put together. I just want your honest opinion. Now, you're not coming to them just saying, oh, hello, I want to be an actor, put me in your film. It's a cliche. A lot of people are hearing and it puts people off. You just come in, oh, I just want to be in your film. They will not even give you a time of their life. So if you've done that recording and ask them, say, listen, I really need you to do me a favor. I want you to watch this 5 minutes clip and give me a feedback. All right? That is, you've knocked on the door. That is an opening for you. The producer looks at it and then plays it. They are not at that point considering whether to put you in any film. But if they watch that and see that you got the talent, trust me, without even making any commitment with you, you've resonated. You've already done an auditioning without knowing it to them. And if they say they liked it, you could then probably say to them, you know what, can I WhatsApp it to you? Just if you see any other producer that might be looking for something like what I can do, just send it to them and put your name on it. That's it. You haven't spent any money to produce that. It's just your phone. And you've just been able to done an auditioning free of charge without even waiting for a casting call. And with that, you never know. It could be the beginning of your story. Because that producer could send your thing out, or they can even call you for a proper auditioning. So that's acting. Now, if you want to go into producing, again, similarly, I would say, try and see if you know anyone that can knock out a 10 minutes short story. A story that has a beginning, middle, and an end. A story that must have negative and positive, that is not flat. A story that can have a little bit of subtext where you're not telling everything within it. So basically, you're saying something, what you're saying is not really what you're trying to say, if that makes sense. So basically, let your audience try to guess what you're trying to do or achieve. Yeah, it might be the way you looked. They say, well, what you're saying is not really what you mean. All right? So let them struggle a little bit, not just telling them everything. It could be body language. It may be where you're saying, oh yeah, thank you, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it. But you don't really mean that you're going to do it. The audience will know that girl is not trustworthy. That boy is not trustworthy. They're not going to do that. All right? So do something. Get someone to write, or if you have the talent, write it yourself. 10 minutes or 5 minutes short. That's the beginning. You can get someone to help you film a short 10 minutes film. Short, 5 minutes. You don't even have to spend money hiring big equipment. Use your iPhone or borrow someone's iPhone and film it. It could be 2 people only. It could be 3 people. All right? Then get them to act out those scripts. 5 minutes, 10 minutes that you've done. You can do it. All right? And then you film it. Don't worry about the quality or light. If you film outside, you're going to get real daylight. Just film something. I can tell you that by the time you've done that short film, you are in. Because you would see where the mistakes are. It could be the sound, it could be the lighting, it could be the way you've kind of coordinated the actors, or whatever. But the fact that you've done something like 5 minutes or 10 minutes is the starting point. All right? You can then get a mentor who can help you.
Well, you have actually answered most of the questions, because I was getting into leaving the UK Nollywood Film Festival to get into you as a director, producer, and an actor. You've said it all, but still, I must let them know. I must let my viewers know. You directed the movie Ortega and His Enemy, which I was in the enemies. I was in the premiere years back. That was the first premiere I actually went to watch that movie. The Return of the Don, we call you the Don, I still call you the Don, and that's where that came off from. And then The Shenanigans. The Shenanigans has won some international awards. It has, there's still more pending, like the Canada Nollywood Film Festival. I read about it and all that. Tell us a little bit about these movies. What gingered you to start them off, and actually what channeled you as a lawyer? What channeled you to entertainment? Or were you into entertainment before you went into law?
It was almost like the beginning of two things at the same time.
Okay.
Basically, my first academic degree was in education. I used to be a lecturer. I was teaching young kids at the time before I decided to go into law. And then I studied law from start again and get a second degree in law. And all through this experience, in fact, going back to the question before I kind of, I have seen young people and things that they get up to, and it really breaks my heart that they are not getting what they deserve in terms of helping them to stay away of crime. All right. So initially, when I started getting into media, it was mainly about empowering the youth. That was the time, the first project we did when we were starting off in media was I was part of Miss Nollywood UK.
Yes,
Miss Nollywood UK. So it was helping to create that platform where they can do acting, and then out of their performance, we can then select the winner. And then the winner will get an acting contract, more or less. So we did that, and we also did beauty pageants to also help young people kind of focus their talent in a positive way rather than having nothing much to do. But whilst I was doing that, I was studying law because I believe in justice. I believe in also people knowing their rights, what they're supposed to achieve in life, and people not taking things that don't belong to them. So I was doing that because it's always been my passion. So I was studying law at the time, but I was also in media helping to do projects that would benefit and empower people. So why did I go into shenanigans? Or why did I go into
entertainment first? Because shenanigans, we'll talk about that.
My thing about entertainment is that I have passion. They've always said, they say this thing, all lawyers are actors, but not all actors are lawyers.
That's true.
So you can find that in law, it's all about performing. We like to perform. If you've been to the court, you see how barristers, when they really have their case, it's about making you believe in their side of the story. They may swap, and then they will still want to make you believe the other side of the story, even though 1 minute they are. So it doesn't matter what role. If I'm defending you, I will just turn a blind eye to everything else that would, because all I'm thinking about is how do I get my client off the hook. If I'm on the other side, all I'm thinking of, how do I get you hooked? I'm not interested in what you have to say, as far as I make sure that I win, But obviously, at the end of the day, if you get off, you get off. Yeah. So you've got to have your own lawyer to help you out, Yeah. So essentially, why am I in media? I like to kind of, I like entertainment and I like to entertain people. I like to use media to promote, especially my culture, my heritage, and also to tell, what I've learned in life, the story of the life experience that I've witnessed. That's why I'm in media.
Yeah. Talk about shenanigans. In UK particularly, there's so many of our teenage children wasting. I use the word wasting. The last I read was a woman that lost 3 children to gun crime. Where do we start? Where did the mothers go wrong? And in particularly Nigerian children, what happened? When I watched the trailer of this shenanigan, I've not seen the real movie per se. I just said, oh, he nailed it.
Thank you.
Knife crime. First off, how did you get those kids to play those parts? It was so convincing. And what came into you, the concept, everything. And it was real. The whole thing is exactly what's going on.
Exactly. Well, when we are filmmakers, I also like to encourage my colleagues to be thinking about why they tell a certain story. Of course, it's good that you do it to make money as well. But at the end of the day, if you look at Hollywood and why they are very successful, is that they tend to take issue-based projects and make it happen. All right. So the Hollywood, they will do about the war, the Vietnam War. They would like to show how powerful America is. They will always show so many different things about what is going wrong in the society. They will talk about, they will do slavery, all those 12 years a slave and the rest of it. We tend to make more films about relationships and affairs. Yes. Somebody had an affair, this other person had an affair. Every time it's more about an affair, an affair. It's not the only issue we do have. Look at what has been happening in London, in UK, in the last 2-3 years. How many lives that we've shared. Yes. That's why I applaud filmmakers that make films about modern day slavery, because it's issue based, right? It's dealing, exposing things that are happening within the society that you're living in. Okay, so human trafficking, issue based. We need to tell more stories. It's not one off. There are different things hidden that we haven't even exposed yet. And as filmmakers, and then one of the reasons that I get into this thing is it's not all about the entertainment side, which is still good, but exposing what is going on behind the scenes. So knife crime. How many young lives were and are still being lost, even as at last week? What do? We need more films. Doesn't mean just because I've done a film on knife crime means nobody else should. Because if you compare it with relationship stories that we are doing, we are doing it all the time.
Yeah, there's a movie, I forgot to tell you actually, there's a movie I'm in also. This is not about you. It's still, we're still in the editing process.
Okay.
It covered that knife crime, gun crime, and kidnapping.
That's good, very
fantastic
good. This is important, all right? That we make films like that. At the same time, of course, we do want to not, glamorize crime, if you like, but make sure that awareness. This about the awareness. We're not showing people how to stab people or how to shoot people. If you see in Return of the Dawn, it's again about youth going into being used, keeping guns for the mafias and the bad guys, and how this thing could end up making them lose their lives. So it's about gang these issues that are really affecting us. So shenanigans about, again, knife crime. How do parents work with partners, stakeholders, to prevent their young
the main
ones?
issue,
Yes, because our parents are struggling. But they are struggling behind closed doors. People don't know what they are getting up to.
That's true.
The law here makes it very hard for you to give that sort of control that you would see usually in Africa, where your child will not even dare. All right, and then we say that that's child abuse. And here we are so politically corrected in terms of trying to chastise the kids. And then it's, before you know it, social services will be on your case, and then you're to court. They might take the kids away. And then what do you do when the child decide, you know what, I'm gonna be walking up and down with a knife? All right, what do you do? So what sort of support is available for parents to be able to keep their kids off the street in violence? So it touches all that issues that is going on with behind closed doors. What happens when your child, a 16-year-old, spits at you because you're trying to say don't do this, or they slap you because you cannot kick them back, you cannot smack them back because you feel that if you do that, then it will be child abuse. How do you handle that dilemma? It's a dilemma.
And some issues, some stories too, some issues the parents don't even know what the kids are up to.
Exactly.
You have a certain upbringing in life and you think you're giving your child the same thing, only for the next time you see in newspaper and all that, you'll be claiming he's not a gang member, he's not his, but still something like that happens.
Exactly. So are they identifying what their children are up to when they are out there and when they are indoors?
I must touch something before we round up. You're known in the Nigerian community a lot, because I know wherever, especially the Igbo community, wherever they're doing something, you must be there. The High Commission, you're always there and all that. How do Nigerian people, do we have something set up? Like a kind of counseling or community or something set up for parents to meet and discuss this and then find a way forward to see if we can try and get into the head of our children or something?
Yeah, there are a number of organizations that put up projects, seminars. You may recall that I was the second vice chairman of the Central Association of Nigerians. During my time there, we had Legal Awareness Day, and I was using my skills as a lawyer and as a media personality to help the committee as well to see what we can do for to create this awareness. And the last time we did our seminar that we put together at the mayor's office was basically about knife crime, specifically Generation Z v parents. So we brought in a number of parents and young people, and we had a youth panel. And they were talking about knife crime, and the victim of knife crime were there. They were talking about the first-hand experience, what problems they've gone through. People have lost their kids. They were there. One of the ladies, she was crying on the day. It was a very successful event. So there are events similar to that that are happening, but the thing is awareness. Something again that I can say that it's not very good when these events are put together, and you'll find that even those parents can be bothered to attend, but then they don't know anything about what is going on or how they can tap into the resources, because they just can't be bothered. You know.
Talking about events, there's one coming up this week, sometime next week rather. There's the Miss Sexy Awards in Stratford. Yes, the name is sexy and what might sound ridiculous, but it's all, the concept is awareness, sexual abuse, and this knife crime and all. And a friend of the television, Miss Juliet Macapilla, she will be contesting actually as one of the Miss Sexy. Juliet, I hope you can hear me. I give you my real full support, and I hope you will, because you are a voice to those voiceless. And I mean it. She talks about this sexual abuse like crazy, domestic violence like crazy, and all that. We need women like you, Juliet, around to actually educate people more on this, especially the way you go and talk in the Congress halls about it. We will invite you here, Juliet, one day, but I tell you, I give you my full support on Wednesday. So, sir, before you advise my youth viewers, can you please dig your hand in the pot?
Okay.
We call it the golden pot of hope.
Yeah.
So there's hope in this pot, and any name you pick, the person will get sponsor, not sponsor this time, will get funds to start a business from us this week.
Shall I open it?
Yes, please, sir.
Okay.
You can open and announce the winner.
Aha. Maybe you should announce it.
Ooh, okay. There is Amida Adegoke. Amida Adegoke. I don't know any of these people. Amida Adegoke, if you're watching, congratulations. We'll have to get in touch with you between now and Wednesday to raise the fund for you to start your petit business. Congratulations again. And this is the support from the Golden Pot of Hope, from Prime View Television, and from Hype Charity. Well, God is on our side.
How much I will she? That was the maximum that was meant to be given.
No, okay. We start from 10,000 naira.
10,000.
Yeah, because I think some of them, like she, in her case, I think she wants to start selling corn.
Okay, I'm donating 10,000.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Thank you very much, because usually we pick up for the... Oh, thank you very much. We appreciate you for giving this to this woman. Yeah. And Prime View Television is your neighborhood television. We're new, but we're getting there. The Golden Pot is also under Prime View Television, and there is a Prime View Television initiatives. So you can follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, anywhere, Twitter, Prime View Television, and please support us, support the Golden Pot of Hope, so that we can support others. Sir, please, can you just advise my viewers, the youths, the older, the less privileged, the under-supported, that's the word I always use, under-supported Nigerians. You know what's going on in Nigeria now? To feed is a problem. Yeah. The rich still keeps getting richer, and the poor still gets poorer. Yeah. But some people will tell you, make a footstep, just step ahead and you'll find a pot of gold. But it's never easy. So please, if you can advise them, and then talk a little bit, advise the kids also in UK against knife crime and gun crimes. Yeah. I will run up. Thank you.
Obviously, it's something that has been talked about. Let's start with the youth in Nigeria. I understand how hard it is to survive in the current economic situation in Nigeria. And not just Nigeria, in Africa as a whole. What I can say, do not get so bogged down by your current situation. You may be in education or some form of training or some form of, depends on your age. If you're, whatever it is that you do, try and be your best, because you don't know where that could lead you. Just be the best you can be in that. It's a lot of issues that may be affecting anyone, but the best thing is to stay positive and look for any opportunity, positive opportunity that could help you in your own situation. Because I don't know your current situation. I don't know what you're going through, so might be a bit difficult to personalize. But whatever it is you do, try and stay positive and do the best you can, and don't get bogged down when you miss an opportunity, because there will always be another one. Keep knocking on doors, and don't feel when you're rejected that is the end of it. Even if you tried and you failed, so there's this saying that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a stepping stone to success. Okay, so anytime you fail to achieve anything, don't look at it as you have failed. Look at it as another stepping stone to your success journey. All right, all right, just try and remember that. In terms of youth in UK here, it may well be like, far-fetched trying to tell you, oh, drop the knife, and you might be saying, who are you to tell me what to do? I just wanted you to look at the implications of your actions, and just imagine if you're on the receiving end. How would you feel? And it doesn't really matter how much anyone can tell you to drop the knife or to not get into criminal activities. At the end of the day, you have conscience, and I believe that if you think it through, you must understand there are other ways. It has to be another way to achieving that goal. And it's not about a blame game or thinking you're bad for life. It's about you refocusing on what else you can do aside what you're currently doing, and recognize that there's other ways you can achieve your aims. It may be your circumstance, it may be the way you were brought up, it may be because of abuse or neglect or mental health. It may be a whole bunch of issues that are pushing you to doing what you're doing. But I can guarantee you, if you think about it, there are supports out there that you can tap into to assist you, to help you come out of this style of life and look at a positive way of turning around what you do. And I believe if you try that, it would work out.
Okay, sir. And how do we get the ticket for this film festival?
Yes, we have tickets. The tickets are online at UK Nollywood Producersguild.org, or if you go to Eventbrite and type in UK Nollywood Film Festival. All right. If you go on Facebook, you would also find us, UK Nollywood Producers Guild. Instagram, UK Nollywood Producers Guild, UK Nollywood Film Festival. Better still, if you want to find me on Facebook, you can find me M.A. Benson. Inbox me and I can also let you know how you can get tickets. We will be donating some tickets to this show for competition. For also keep watching this show. Next time you could be a winner of a free ticket to come to the event.
Thank you
so
very
stay
much,
tuned
sir.
on this channel and keep watching Prime View.
Very much.
Thank
you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Seriously, we appreciate you coming. We appreciate the bundle of joy you've just offered to us. To Amida Adekoke, we say on her behalf, we say thank you. And on behalf of this beautiful, beautiful Golden Pot of Hope, I say thank you, sir.
Thank you, Marlene.
And God bless.
My pleasure, and God bless you too.
Thank you, sir. And have a good night, everyone.
Prime View TV. New media with a difference. New media with a difference.